Majority Leader. Alam niyo po, ito reflective ng magaling yung LGU doon sa Bukidnon because hindi umabot sa severity. Kaya underutilized because sa community-based prevention pa lang, naagapan na. Besides, hindi pwede maging regional facility ito kasi yung proximity niya sa Cagayan de Oro, nauna na yon. So spillover na lang yung pumapasok dito.
Underutilized lang, Mr. Chairman. Sana, Mr. President...
Underutilized nga, not because hindi nagagamit yung full capacity, wala talagang nagpapa-admit kasi maganda nga yung programa. This is according to DDB, not according to me. I'm not here to please you, Mr.
Yes,
President. Pero yan talaga yung reality sa ground. Pag magaling yung local government unit sa pag-attend dun sa community-based efforts sa drug prevention, wala talaga papasok. And we should be happy. We should not be, we should not feel sad na underutilized or na konti lang yung pasyente, 80 lang, pagkagandagan ng facility.
Yes.
So, we should be thankful.
I'm hoping that's the case, Mr. President, because we'd like...
But that is...
That's a very good point. Yes,
Yeah.
it's
I'm sure
possible.
mas marami, kasi ang population ng Bukidnon po, Mr. President, is 1.5 million people. I doubt that there's only 80 drug users in Bukidnon. Alam ko, marami pong drug users yan. But whatever it is, I just wanted to put it to the consciousness of the Dangerous Drugs Board.
Well taken, but that's their observation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The Minority Leader, then
Minority Leader
Senator
would like to-
Tolentino. They're both asking for the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did not intend to avail of the period of interpolation for PDEA and DDB, but the Majority Leader pointed out that in Bukidnon, he has an underutilized facility. A beautiful facility, looks like a... I think,
Resort.
This looks like a resort. Mr. President, if this is one end of the scale, the Iloilo Rehabilitation Center is on the other end of the scale. Aba wala man lang ni isang makapagpantay dyan sa building na Bukidnon. Talagang pinanganak po ng Panginoon ng ating Majority Leader. Now, because in Iloilo, Mr. President, I visited the Iloilo Rehabilitation Center only yesterday. Only yesterday. It's not because we have been called without basis, the most shabulized city, but indeed the rehabilitation center would need some upgrading. I wish we can dismantle some of the buildings here and move it to Iloilo, but let me put on record that the Iloilo Rehabilitation Center is maintained quite well. Malinis. I don't know kung nilinis na yun, darating ako, pero malinis po. And however, they lack dormitories because their present dormitories were about 100 and there are about 130 in those dormitories. So they have requested me if we can fund a dormitory for female rehabs. So that and I will I'm making this amendment when we get to the Department of Health budget, because these rehabilitation centers are under the Department of Health. Of course, understandably, when I propose that we rehabilitate the Iloilo Rehabilitation Center, the budget submitted to me was for all the rehabilitation centers. Hindi naman po. But anyway, so just to emphasize that indeed iba po ang treatment sa Bukidnon. Pinanganak ng Diyos ang ating Majority Leader. Kumpara po sa amin, we also need it equally, Mr. President. Thank you, sir.
But actually, Mr. President, for the record, not a single centavos government funds for this. That's all private funds, sir. 700 million pesos donated by a foundation from
And then
Hong Kong.
they turned over to the DOH.
Yes, sir.
That we hope DOH will be running
That's
well.
exactly the point, sayang po.
Because
Can we be introduced to this donor?
Yes, sir. I definitely will introduce you
Thank
to
you
our
very
minority.
the point of the Minority Leader is very important because not a lot of people realize that a perfect rehabilitation center should be one big recreation center. It is not a jail. You know, a successful rehabilitation center should be one big recreation center. That's how to do it.
Yes.
Anyway, so the Senator Tolentino, you were
Yes, Mr.
asking
President.
for the floor.
Before we recognize Senator Tolentino, actually, this is so underutilized that we had requested the DOH to include mental health patients there.
Oh, yes, perfect.
Mental health
Yes.
patients, kasi sayang din eh. And you have psychiatrists,
Yeah.
psychologists. So yan po ang plano nila, which I'll take up during
Correct.
the budget of the DOH.
Thank you. Senator Tolentino.
Sir.
Yes, a manifestation, Mr. President. I agree with the good majority floor leader that this is underutilized, but I beg to disagree as regards the budget of the Department of Health, which I'm now manifesting that I will be questioning tomorrow relative to its communications budget. Mr. President, the Department of Health has a budget allocation for advertising expenses 622 million pesos. They got a 16% increase from their previous budget, which goes to show na hindi po na-advertise ng Department of Health na meron pala tayong ganito. And if I may add, Mr. President, there is even a new facility in Tagaytay which is a home for the aged. Bago naman po ito. Wala pa ho sa Pilipinas niyan. So, bukas po tatanungin ko ang Department of Health, and I'm serving notice, kung ano yung ginagawa nila doon sa kanilang communications budget. Just a manifestation, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Tolentino. And the budget of the DDB fails completely as far as advertising is concerned. They have only 9 million. Dinagdagan pa yun nung lagay na yun. Oh, Senator Villar.
Senator Villar, Mr. President.
I just want to make a manifestation that we have the same problem. We built a
Las Piñas.
drug rehab facility which was inaugurated by the President last December, and now, up to now, there are no patients. But it is being operated by DOH, not by the drug rehab agency. I think the DOH is having a hard time operating our drug facilities. So, thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes, Senator
nagtataka ko bakit nalulungkot silang walang pasyente doon sa ano. Ang ibig sabihin, walang severe cases na nagpapa-admit.
I
So
see your
dapat
point.
matuwa sila dahil yung LGU, very efficient.
I see your point, but knowing that there are more than 1.7 million drug dependents in the country, it is surprising that this is
Just as
happening.
an intervention, that is what the good sponsor postulates. The other theory is that baka po lahat sa Bukidnon, na biktima ng tukhang, nandun na sa ibang quarters. Wala po. Kaya po wala doon.
Baka nakalibing na. Anyway, Mr. President.
Again, just one thing.
Yes, Mr. President.
To remind the DDB and the PIDEA, siguro, isa sa mga dahilan dito, again, we are not giving enough focus on the problem of drug abuse. It is completely different from illegal drugs. Akala nila pareho yan. Hindi, magkaiba yun. Iba yung enforcement, prosecution ng illegal drugs at iba ang prevention and rehabilitation, which is drug abuse. It's a completely different animal pag tinignan mo. Yun palagay ko, hindi nabibigyan ng emphasis ng gobyerno. Nakatodo tayo sa enforcement. We are forgetting that there are over 1 million drug dependents na dapat yun mag-focus ang attention
Sa treatment,
tayo.
Mr. President.
Just as a reminder.
Yes,
All right,
treatment.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. No other member wishes to interpolate the budgets of the Dangerous Drugs Board and the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. I therefore move that the budgets of the two agencies be deemed submitted and approved. I so
All
move.
right, any objection? Hearing none, the budget of the DDB and the PIDEA are hereby deemed submitted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before we ask for suspension, may we ask the Office of the Ombudsman to be ready in the gallery, Mr.
All right,
President.
the Office of the Ombudsman will be next. The session is suspended.